What's going on, everybody? How you doing? It's Milton Spence. I'm here with the Money Masters crew, and I just wanted to introduce everybody kind of one by one, and then we're going to dive into exactly what we're talking about here. First and foremost, we have the lady of the hour. We have Miss Cassandra Senius. She is the owner of Convivial Link. Not only that, she's a networking guru, right? And they believe at Convivial Link that in order to succeed in any business venture, you must have more than one individual working together in order to build a strong network base that would aspire and achieve monumental goals and exceed expectations that ascend the boundaries at any aspiring business professional and or established businesses professionals vivid imaginations. A lot, but basically what it means is that they want to make sure that you get the best out of your business. Okay. Cassandra, if you would give us a little bit more. I know I gave a little spiel, but dive into exactly who you are and what you're all about.
Well, you just took the words right out of my mouth. So I'm like, okay, what else am I going to say? So pretty much Convivial Link is anything that has to do with networking from a professional standpoint, from an entrepreneur standpoint. I believe that, you should do business with everyone. Sometimes, you may meet someone and you may not get the direct connection that you're looking for, but I do believe by meeting that one individual, it can also navigate in terms of they may know someone else that may, give you whatever it is that you're looking for pertaining to your business ventures. I don't think any conversation dealing with networking is a waste of time. I definitely think it's an opportunity for growth, for elevation. A lot of people say it's about who you know. I believe more or less it's kind of goes hand in hand, like, who knows you. The more people that know you and know exactly what you do, the better chances of you in terms of your business branding and stuff, it creates a great opportunity for that. Money Masters for me, of course, we were supposed to do something at the Ritz-Carlton, but it didn't happen, unfortunately, because of the pandemic. And that's okay. My goal was to still create an online presence and connect individuals through various sources of technology, just so that they can help other individuals that are probably struggling when it comes to technology or trying to stay relevant during this pandemic. Um, I would say, reason why I like this group is because these are a established, professional, very brilliant, talented um, money masters, and everybody know I love money. So we we're kind of like on the same page. So to me, I feel like your net worth wasn't your net worth should be your net worth. Pretty much, I definitely live and breathe that philosophy. Work hard, play hard, but it's about building those right connections. And I feel that, anyone in your inner circle, if they're not empowering you to do better, especially when it comes to your ventures, and you guys are not able to build and especially make money, then what are you doing? That's just my philosophy when it comes to anyone that I try to mingle and interact. Of course, you have individuals where you may have different purposes, but for the most framework of it, like for me, in terms of how I like to live my life, a lot of people that I have, pretty much, met during my time doing Convivial Link has been really helpful in terms of my journey. It doesn't necessarily mean that with my journey that it has been, all smooth sailing. There's definitely been some, hard roads on the, along the way, and each and every single one of these gentlemen, I appreciate you guys because you guys have helped me in terms of branding, whether it's branding, my business ventures or giving me like, words of encouragement, or if I'm making a mistake, maybe you guys have had the same experiences where you guys have kind of coached me. And also, we've also managed to build partnerships. And with those partnerships, instantly we're definitely generating, revenue from that, which I think is incredible, right? And like I said, I'm just thankful just to be part of this group or to learn each and every single one of you guys and the, what you guys have brought to my life, so to speak, or whatever. So I just wanted to share this with everyone else because I definitely think I don't want to be selfish and keep all of you guys to myself. So, I want to share with the world. Okay. Love
Cool.
you.
All right. So next we're going to have Mr. Michael Johnson, who is the CEO and CIO of the Michael Ryan Group, a private equity firm managing a portfolio of securities, commodities, real estate, and other alternative investments. He also is a real estate and business consultant, It's a lot of fancy words, but I'm gonna let him just break it down exactly what it is going on.
Basically, what that means simply is I invest in assets. I try to make my money work for me instead of me always trying to work for my money. And the whole point of being a money master, which is what we're all trying to get everyone else to be, is you realize that at a certain point you're either going to master your money or your money's going to master you. One's going to slave for the other. So it's always best to try to make your money work for you, because we don't want to have to be subject to anyone else's control. We don't want to work a 9 to 5 for the rest of our lives. We want to try to make sure we're planning for retirement and building wealth. And there's only so much wealth that you can build inside of a 401k or a savings account. You have to be investing in alternative assets, which will be your real estates, the stock market, commodities. And that's really what I'm into. The private aspect of it is I'm operating with a pool of funds that are my own and then private investors. And I hope to open that up to more of a public thing where I can get other individuals that I know to invest in some sort of a fund to where they can help themselves start building equity on a larger scale outside of just your traditional retirement fund. So that's my main goal. I know a lot of you guys are in the industry as well, directly helping people set up their retirement funds, and that's great. And then the next step is to how do you broaden that? How do you get to that top 2 to 5% of the earners in the world? And that's what we're trying to do to build the ecosystem up, so to speak.
All right, so you heard it here first. If you want to get rich, you go talk to All right, so next I got Elize on the board, man. He's a licensed financial services gentleman. He was helping individuals and business owners to create, build, preserve wealth through personalized retirement, insurance, and financial advice. All right, so I'm going to let him break that down. It sounds like I'm just dealing with folks who just know how to make money and know how to make you money. So yeah, go ahead, man. What's going on?
Well, yeah, I personally believe in just helping others and enriching others' lives, and I think I made that my life's work, my life's mission. By day, I am a financial services professional. I'm currently with the Coastal Wealth. It's a mass mutual firm, and the goal has been the same for me from the very beginning: helping families, protecting, preserving, and building their wealth. I do that in a number of different ways. We have a number of different products that helps our clients just do that. But it's mainly geared towards education first, the financial education piece, retirement and income planning strategies, investment strategies, insurance, obviously, and then just getting to that point where they are either creating or starting businesses and also trying to preserve those businesses through succession planning. Also, one of the things that I do when I'm not at work, I currently serve as the president of the National Black MBA Association in South Florida. And that's all about empowerment, empowering our local Black professionals in the area. It's the whole idea of wealth creation and generational wealth has been a big pillar of what we try to establish. And so I lead a group of, I think there's about 400 members we currently have, those that are either in school pursuing their MBAs or folks that have they're probably onto their second careers and into retirement. And it's a membership organization that's geared towards just that, meeting like-minded people, creating that ecosystem of professionals that we can help one another grow in our respective professions, and just continue to try our best to close the wealth gap. And I know that's going to be one of the things we're going to talk about, because it just seems as if that gap keeps widening. And even though we have so many people that are educated, they got their degrees, and they're working, they're making more money, but it just seems as if that we have not caught up in the way that we should. And so hopefully us coming together, getting this group going, is a good step that will basically throw that pebble in the water and create that ripple, and hopefully it'll just create that monsoon that we're all looking for.
Yeah, man, for sure. For sure. All right. Got to move on, man. I got to give Carlos his shine. Carlos is a financial advisor focused on wealth management, debt elimination, and asset protection. So, guys, check this out. I got money here for Michael. I got money for Elize, and I got some more money with Carlos. Carlos, man, dive some more into exactly what you do and who you are, brother.
How are you guys today? So basically, I like to say this: money isn't everything, but everything needs money, right? So I always tell people that when I have a lot of people tell me, well, money isn't everything. Well, money isn't everything, but it's pretty much up there with oxygen, right? And so what happens is Michael talked about it, Eliza talked about it, and it's all about building wealth, right? But how do we build it? Everybody has different strategies, and that's why I love this group, because we all have different things that we bring to the table. And at the same time, there's two things that come into money, and this is what more than just, I do financial services. I help them with their retirement planning, their college planning, everything like that. But also I like to work on people's mindset when it comes to money, because there's the physical aspect of actually having money, but then there's a psychological part of it that people don't realize. There's like a lot of things psychologically hold us back from actually reaching that next level in income, because we all have a financial lid that most of us don't even realize. Like some people's financial lid's $500,000 a year. Some people's financial lid's $50,000 a year. So how can we tap into that mentality? So when I'm dealing with my clients, I'm talking to them about, yes, the strategies, that's super important. But if the mentality doesn't change, those strategies mean nothing, So that's kind of what I like to talk to people about. I also, outside of that, I actually started up before COVID a baseball league. The reason I did that is I believe that finances are important in empowering people, but at the same time, that's something that I was very passionate about. And I think it's something that I'm fueling at the same time in connection with my business to actually bring people more financial education, because a lot of times when you try to talk to people about finances in a certain way, in a certain environment, it's different as when you're talking to them and, we both have something in common. Like all of us here have something in common. I've chopped it up with Mike. Milton and I have talked before, Cassandra, I've known her for a while. And that's really the importance, building those relationships with like-minded individuals. So that's pretty much what, in a nutshell, what I do.
All right. And so last but not least, you get to deal with me. My name is Milton Spence. I'm the owner and founder of Well-Rounded Consulting. I started the business maybe a year and a half ago. I started off as a business consultant and life coach, and I felt like that's what I wanted to do. That's how I wanted to pretty much lead myself, right? But after some time in it, and I've helped some businesses grow, I've gone in and dived into some ugly situations. I said, wow, I can't believe I came out of that one alive, right? We still got all my teeth and hair, kind of, sort of. I came out and I decided that I wanted to broaden my company. And I said, okay, how can I broaden this company in order to make sure that I build something that's sustainable, not just for me, but for my children. I have two little kids. So I decided that I was going to go into government contracting. What in the world was I thinking? Okay. When I got into government contracting, of course, it took me by storm because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. But I said, I'm going to go into this 110%, not knowing what the heck I'm doing, figure it out, and be able to teach other people how to do this. So that way, when they step into this arena, it becomes that much more easier because I'm the gladiator and I don't mind taking those brunts and hits. Okay. So then I said, well, how can I punish myself even more? And I decided that I wanted to open up my own insurance firm. And I said, well, what kind of insurance can I get into? Because I've been approached to sell different types of insurance all the time. And I said, well, I want to do something where I actually can house both. I want to do term and I want to do whole life insurance. So I decided to find out, and I said, okay, I'm going to take this test. Man, it's hard. Okay. It's a lot of questions, a lot of studying. There was a lot of time in between of being a full-time dad, trying to make sure that I don't lose out on contracts, trying to make sure that I keep, all my hair and teeth. I decided to jump into it. I ended up getting my license, and I now can write insurance and things of that nature. Will God forbid, but God willing, have my insurance firm up and running by the end of the year or beginning of next year. I'm not really in a rush because it's tough right now because people are strapped for cash. But nevertheless, I wanted to do these things because I love to serve people. People are my thing. I love people. Okay. I still do business consulting and things like that, but I really love people to the point where I want to be able to help people in any point in time and be able to point them in the directions that can help them not only build sustainable wealth or sustainable anything, but be able to help them have something that they can really call their own. That's
awesome.
All right. So yeah, it's easy to talk about yourself. It's easy. You know what you do all the time, right? You got to introduce other people like you. So anyway, so Money Masters, we came together actually by the mastermind of Miss Cassandra Cineas. Okay. She brought us all together, which I'm honored to be a part of the group, especially realizing that I'm around a bunch of rich people. I'm just proud to be proud to say that I was invited in, this little old me invited in to be able to come in and say exactly what I can bring to the table, or what they can bring to the table, and listen and learn. But really, I want to find out from Cassandra, what is money mastery, and why is it that you even had the vision to bring us to this very point where we're now making a podcast?
I just think money mastery, like, it's just very essential. Like I mentioned before, I just think a lot of people, they have businesses, but they really don't know how to make money, and they don't surround themselves with individuals that can empower them in terms of, like, how to get the money, what I'm saying? Like Jerry Maguire, show me the money, and it's just like, for me, like I said, I breathe and I live that. And again, when we go into business ventures, I think one of the things, especially, like, I don't know, based on my experience in the state of Florida, a lot of us are afraid to talk about money. What I'm saying? It's just like, it's like if you say you do this and you want to, I guess, advocate in terms of, like, what you want to make or how you're going to get there and stuff. It's like we're afraid to talk about, the things that really drives us. It's like we'll say, okay, yeah, it has to be some sort of passion. But even sometimes in business and stuff like that or whatever, when you do something that you're passionate about, you may have to put that on the back burner and do something that's definitely going to drive, your other passion, so to speak, if that makes any sense. So for me, like, Money Masters was just an idea where I just wanted to teach people in terms of, how to get money if you're struggling, saying what steps that you can take, how to build those relationships again, which is very, very key, essential points and stuff or whatever. And that takes, a lot of patience, learning how to be a, good listener to those who are giving you that, to surround yourself with those people like you who are doing well in that. Setting, a timeline, or setting a checklist to do that, to help you build when it comes to that or whatever the case may be. For me, I think that when you start a business, it's like, you want to make money. So it's like, why are we afraid to talk about how to make money, saying, to have those conversations and stuff or whatever. And then when we do talk about them, people feel like maybe you're bragging. You're not bragging. You're just letting, these are the facts and this is what I need to do. Or these are the people that I need to communicate in order for me to get to this goal. I don't know about anyone else. It's like, why start a business if you can't talk about, have goals where you want to, generate, certain amount of wealth. If you're not trying to do that, then why are you in business? Like, to me, that makes no sense,
Right. And I mean, if you could, anybody chime in, tell us exactly what it is and why not only why you started your business, but why you think wealth is important and what it is, what money mastery is to you.
Well, I'll start.
Yeah, don't all jump in at once now.
My first step into this was really with real estate. Once after I bought my first home just to live in, I was like, you know what, this is obviously something that can build long-term wealth. So I started just pouring into getting as much knowledge as I could about real estate, how to invest into it, how to be a landlord, how to manage it, how to evaluate assets and things like that. And it just kind of rolled into other things. And the main thing about being a money master, it's really not about the money itself. It's about the knowledge, learning how to navigate through certain things and realizing what you didn't know for so long and what so many people around you just don't know and are not aware of. And that's really what differentiates the top 2% and a lot of other, let's say, communities that are known for managing money well. It's really just their knowledge that they share with each other. And they tend to keep that knowledge within their community because that's like their little secret. But there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to have access to that knowledge as well. And it's really just out there. Just how bad do you want it? How much effort are you going to put into it? Because just a little effort really can take you a long way, and it'll just start compounding from there. So that was the main thing that really motivated me, and just seeing how there's a lot of just tax advantages in itself to having companies and corporations and investing in assets. So why not take advantage of it? And then from there it just continues.
Right. Yeah, just to echo to what Mike was saying, the key thing in all of this is, and what's motivating, I think, all of us, is the education piece of it, because we all know, from a historical standpoint, how us as folks of color have been marginalized and disenfranchised and so on and so forth. And equity is really what the new topic of the day is, and where the focus should be on. And as it relates to our buying power, as it relates to the money that we make and earn, there are just certain things that we just in our community just were not aware of, or just were not groomed to appreciate as with our counterparts. And yeah, there's really nothing that's stopping us from getting to that point. Like Carlos had mentioned before, the idea of being rich, or what you deemed as your ceiling, everybody has their amount. I mean, some folks may feel they're making $100,000 a year, and they're happy because they're debt free and living a good life. Whereas somebody's making $2-3 million a year, miserable as hell because of they're mired in debt, or they just have so many other issues that they're stopping them from being happy. So it's really not about the money per se, although the money is a necessity. It's what are you doing with it, and what are you putting your money in, and how diversified are you? Because I think that's another key element in here as well, is that you have some folks that they found the winning formula, whether it's real estate or whether it's asset acquisition, and they're like, okay, great, but not realizing that on any given turn, whether it's a tragic event or something, and they lose everything in one fell swoop because they weren't diversified to be able to withstand that. That's kind of what we're experiencing right now with the pandemic, where you had some folks that are just not able to ride the wave because they had all of their eggs in one basket. And for all of us in the financial network, we know that's never a good strategy. And so, yeah, it all ties back to knowledge, education, and also passing that on to those that just don't know what they don't know. And I think that's why we all came together, and I think that we can do some great impact with that.
Carlos, we got to hear from you, brother. Got to.
So basically, for me, doing this podcast with you guys is more about vision, right? Casting a vision to other people, because a lot of times, like you just hit it in the nail, Elize, it's what, like, for example, someone could be making $2 million a year and be miserable, right? Because they've lost their vision of their life, right? As opposed to someone maybe making 50, 60, they're excited because they know what they got ahead of them, right? So I think with this, it's a financial vision that we're creating, where this is going to take turns with, a ripple effect, like you guys said, with the future generations. That's what it is for me, the vision more than anything, and it opens my vision more. I mean, I'm sure everybody's here is going to leave here with something, so.
Awesome. Okay. So for me, I guess I'll talk a little bit. I won't take up, because you guys are smarter than me. So for me, it's I'm just saying, when you're in good company. But either way, so for me, it's what it is, and just actually he said it. Elize said it. You can have a lot of money and still be miserable as hell. It's because a lot of times what I've noticed, a lot of people don't have what's called wisdom. They need that wisdom in order to be able to handle the finances that they do have. And if they don't have wisdom, then a lot of times they get money and they start putting more value on said money than they do on their own life, and they kind of lose grip on things, and then money just kind of flying around because they don't have systems set up. What I have noticed the most is that the most successful people or businesses, if you will, they have what you want to call algorithms or systems. They have them set up so they don't necessarily, I'm not going to say have to think, but they have things in place to help them put money where it needs to, quote unquote, be, right? Or where it needs to go. But that's just my little 3 cents. All right, so Cassandra, now back to you, Cassandra. Yeah, you got to talk. This is your thing. You're the mastermind. Now,
okay.
Yeah, that's right. So now when it boils down to it, tell me exactly what it is from you that you can see how businesses can not only survive this pandemic time, but what they can do after the fact to make sure that they're successful post-pandemic.
I think it's all about I wouldn't say all about, but I was just thinking like one of the thing is like if you haven't done so already, like a lot of the things like, again, me and it was a formulated a consultant business where we get a lot of clients that, either they have a business, but it's not structured the right way, or people that want to get into business and stuff. And like, again, they don't have any idea. So I think, foundation, organization, goes back to structure is very, very important in terms of trying to, I guess, continue with your business or formulate. I think with this pandemic, it has taught a lot of small businesses about like, not having all your ducks in order and, the risk factors that you're facing. I think Mike was telling me the other day, I don't remember the exact number in terms of how many small businesses that closed down due to lack of something that they pretty much didn't have, but then also went back to, not really having, a plan of action, for a situation like this, which of course none of us expected for this to happen, but not necessarily even for this, when we talk about small businesses, even if this didn't happen, a lot of small businesses, they just don't have things in order. They don't have a backup plan. They don't know who to talk to, where to get, valuable resources, how to make themselves marketable. And even after this, moving forward and stuff, or whatever the case may be, what I want, to contribute, and I think each and every single one of us can kind of agree, is just knowledge, about teaching them, effective ways that they can apply to their business, and, really not being afraid to go out there and, take chances. But when you take chances with caution. Make sure that you do the research that is needed within your field, whatever that you're trying to do, to make sure that it is. And also, connecting with key people that have those experiences, that are specialized within certain things that you're trying to do. And I think a lot of small businesses, what they try to do as well too, they try to do everything all at once. And I understand that, you may have a limited amount in terms of, money that you have for this, but, you also have to think, okay, well, yes, I do have this and such that, whatever, prioritizing, what's important, where should I, send my money to in terms of like, what needs to be done on my actual checklist or whatever, to make sure that I get the most effective result when it comes to my business venture just moving forward.
All right, Mike, what about yourself, brother?
What have I noticed? It's a lot. I'd say, like Cassandra just mentioned, there's about either 40 or 50%, maybe even up to 60% of just Black-owned businesses are not going to be able to reopen due to COVID, this whole situation. And as I thought about it, I wondered how many of those businesses really just wouldn't be able to reopen because they just weren't organized enough to make that pivot to adapt to the changes that came about. Maybe some of those businesses could still be salvaged. We don't know. I don't know who those businesses are, but that's something that we can look at just within our own communities to see what businesses are closing down. Maybe we can try to reach out to the owners and see how we can try to help them get back on their feet. I don't know, but that's something that we can do, because we need to replace those businesses that we lost, and then also add on new businesses as well. So if we're losing and we're not even replacing those, we're just taking another giant step back and widening that wealth gap that Eliza mentioned. Hopefully I said your name right. Eliza? Eliza. All right, sorry about that. So yeah, Eliza made a great point about that. And that's something that we definitely need to focus on, trying to close that wealth gap, because it's only getting bigger. The last time it happened was in 2008. I was just getting out of college at that point in time. But that was a big opportunity that a lot of us in our communities didn't take advantage of. So now that it's happening again, now that we're aware of it and we have the knowledge, it's our responsibility to try to share that knowledge as best as we can and try to put some actions in place to really help them out, because it's right there in front of us. We can't just sit here and watch it happen.
You know what I notice when it comes to businesses, guys and lady, is that is that a lot of times there's information, right? So there's plenty of information. We know we're on the information highway. We got the World Wide Web. We got everything at our fingertips and all of this. What I have noticed is there's information without guidance. Okay, there's just, hey, throw this on the wall and let's see if it sticks, kind of thing. What I think wholeheartedly what needs to happen is there needs to be a little bit more guidance. You guys say you have a consulting business, right? So that's why I kind of started mine. I was like, I want to consult people. I want to help them get to where they need to be, because here it is. Well, I started mine off a vision, and I didn't even think to talk to anybody about what to do. I really, I'm not gonna say I'm a different breed, but I just went and did all my research on my own and did everything I needed to do. But for the common person, quote unquote, right, the person who's like, what do I do? That guidance, the assurance that there is guidance there, I think needs to be more apt for businesses versus, hey y'all, here you go. All right, go for it. You know what I mean? And if you need me, hire me. That's kind of how, that's what ends up happening. So I think with us for sure, being a mastery group, anytime I hear of a master, I think of like a monk or, somebody who has it all together, right? Seriously, that's what I think of. Somebody's fully centered and they just got it all together. I think that what could benefit is us really giving the guidance wholeheartedly, and having that be our aim and our overall goal to say, look, we want to guide. We don't just want to throw something at you, because everybody does that. Everybody has they Zooms, and I listen, and they just, hey, yeah, go here, do this and that. And after a while, I tune out. After a while, I'm like, all right, I'm done, because I already know all that. Thank you, but no thank you, right? So let's guide. I sound like a parent right now, but let's guide. So Elize spoke, Mike spoke, no, Cassandra spoke, Mike spoke.
Hello.
Elize,
okay.
It's your turn. Give us some guidance, man. Tell us what's.
Well, on that topic of guidance, I think there's a couple of key things that I think when Mike was talking about back in 2008, and even if we go back further to all of the issues that have happened, that where when we have a national crisis or an economic crisis, how it cripples the Black community. We're in a new age now where it doesn't require much to get things going. It doesn't require much to start a business. Hell, it doesn't even require much for you to say, hey, I'm a master at something. All it takes is you prop up a camera and you can become a guru overnight, because that's the this is the age that we live in. And for a long time, for those of us that have done consulting in the past, and those that are currently doing it, let's be real. I mean, there is something to be said when you're trying to help folks in your community, but they don't see the value, right? And I think that's the first step. It's kind of like, one of the things that a lot of our small business owners need to understand is that you need to invest in your business, and that guidance that you're looking for, it's not always free. And while we all, are here, and we have a passion for what we do, but we also need to make our own living, right? And so usually what happens is, because our small business owners, for whatever reason, they feel like, hey, I can do this. I know how to do X, Y, Z. Yes, you may be the greatest barbecue and spot, and hopefully I'm not being racial when I'm saying this, but you guys get what I'm saying. You might be great at what you do, and you get the money every day, but you may not have the knowledge of what to do with that money. And so you need to hire someone or pay someone to, whether it's an accountant, whether it's a consultant, to come in to show you, to guide you on how to properly and effectively scale up your business and be able to sustain it. And unfortunately, we're always looking for the discount, especially when you see somebody like us coming in the room. It's like, hey, oh wow,
like a discount, you gonna act like you don't know me.
And it's like, no,
before you continue, how would you inspire a business to hire you? Because most businesses look at you as another bill. How would you inspire somebody to honestly hire you?
Well, again, it's all about the value. I mean, obviously consulting firms all together need to understand it. And one of the reasons why I think all of us probably are not working for one of those major consulting firms and we're doing things on our own is because we do realize that we don't do a good enough job of marketing our community. And at the end of the day, that is the trust factor, and understanding that you're building a relationship. This is not a transactional thing. And that's why I like the word guidance, because to your point, there's too many times you have door-to-door salesmen that come in and say, hey, for $99, I'll do this XYZ. And you throw them a product or you throw them a solution that might help for that short term. But never is it a relationship building thing where, hey, you have me, you have a guide, someone that's going to guide you and your business for the next few years. And I think it's all in a matter of how we're approaching it, and also building that relationship, getting to know that business, and not just another number on the ledger. And I think that's one of the key things. It's all about relationship building, and what we're doing here is also a great step, because we're in essence creating our network where, hey, I know that the next client that I get that's looking to do a acquisition or merger, Michael's on speed dial. Hey, you need to talk to Michael, because Michael will be able to help, will guide you in that direction. Same thing with Carlos or Milton. If it's a insurance related matter, hey, you need to talk to these guys. And I think that's one of the things that Cassandra, which we kind of have to give her props, that's pretty much what she's been doing. And the results are there. By building those networks, establishing those connections, we're able to help one another grow and make money in the process, and also doing that critical element of helping our businesses in our own community grow and survive. So,
all right. So Carlos,
I'm gonna piggyback on what Elize just mentioned. And a lot of times when we're talking to, like, if we're trying to build up our people, right, we're trying to build up our communities and our businesses, we got to be honest with people. And I think a lot of times people are afraid to tell them the truth. Like, hey, listen, you are horrible at business. You're a great cook, but you're horrible at business. Because a lot of times people think, well, just because I'm a good cook. And so how do you get them to take the next step? I think that's what Milton was asking. So basically a lot of times people want to inspire people, but most people aren't driven by inspiration. They're driven by desperation. They're driven by, what are you going to miss out on? So let me show you, for example, if I don't hire Elize for this, right? How much money am I going to lose over the next 5 to 10 years? How much is that going to cost me? Because that's what happens. That's when they see really a lot of times, that's when people see the value, sadly. When you show them, hey, listen, if you don't hire me, it's going to cost you 15 grand over the next 6 months.
Yeah.
And that's how, like, because, you can show them, hey, listen, I'm going to help you make 20 grand over the next 6 months. And they're like, I could do that myself.
pretty
Right.
much, because they feel like they already have a proven system, and
Right.
they don't necessarily need your assistance with anything, because, hey, I've been doing it. So why do I need Carlos to come in here and tell me
Yeah.
anything?
So you gotta show them both. You gotta show them, this is what you can do, but hey, listen, like Elize said, they're looking at us and they don't want the discount, right? So it's like, listen, I want to help you, but I can only help you, you help me, So
Like, come on, man. You know it's skin o'clock now. Come on now. They be like, oh, Lord, here we go. All right. So to that point, I mean, I don't want to single out just African-American businesses at all. I want to talk business as a whole, because, whether we want to talk about it or not, the African-American business may struggle. That's because the African-American dollar also does not go into the African-American business. And we know down here in South Florida, we have more than African Americans. We got Haitians, we got Puerto Ricans, we got Cubans, we got them all, right? We have a big mixed pot down here. Me, I'm just black. I'm from Georgia. That's about it, right? So I'm not really mixed with nothing else. Black and black is, you know what. So
More about just helping the community, right?
there you go. But see, the thing is, I have been one to always branch out, right? Because I've started to notice something about nationalities and races. Okay, I've spoken to Cassandra. I've heard her speak Haitian Creole around me. Did I know what she was saying? Nope. Did it sound good? Could I relate to her in any way? Sure. Even though we're from different cultures. So that also means in a business aspect, we also can relate, regardless of the fact of where we are, right? she may have something within her culture or mindset that they may differentiate from my American self, my capitalistic head, right? That could help me stay balanced. How are we relating as business owners to those who are not within our so-called, skin o'clock? How do you guys relate? Whoo!
I think with that comes something that's really huge is empathy, and understanding that, like, for example, I was born and raised Dominican Republic. I came here when I was 10 years old, right? So I grew up down here in South Florida. Then I went to school in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and then I ended up 2 years in school in West Virginia, right? And so I had to adjust really damn quick, right? So I think empathy, one of the things I realized was, like, when someone is of different culture, whatever that be, Chinese, Indian, anything, right? It's a lot of times is whatever you may feel that you're thinking about them, they're kind of thinking that same thing about you. They're just afraid to say it. So a lot of times I'll put things out there. Like, I'm sitting with a client and they're, like, for example, Chinese. We all know they like to hang up amongst themselves. No, seriously, like they like to do business amongst themselves. And I put that out there. I say, hey, listen, I know I'm not Chinese. And I put myself out there. You got to make yourself vulnerable, I think, in order to connect with people and just kind of be real with them. Like, hey, I know that I'm not the typical person you like to do business with. And they actually, like, their guard drops because they're like, yeah, I am a little, so it's like, okay, this guy's not going to get mad at me. Like, they understand that I'm not going to get mad at them because they feel a certain way, So I think that's something that empathy is huge. And just understanding that their mindset, maybe they've never dealt with someone of different skin color,
All right.
Okay. Mike?
I mean, for me, I look back on my experiences growing up. I grew up in different places. I lived in the Bahamas. That's where I was born and raised, moved here when I was about 9 or 10. And then the communities that I lived in moving over here were fairly diverse, whether, it's Cal City, Miami Lakes, Hialeah. So you're growing up around a diverse group of people, different cultures, and you start to form relationships with them. So just like I don't want to see the barbecue grill, man, go out of business. I don't want to see the bodega where I get my cafecito go out of business either. I want to make sure everybody in that community thrives and succeeds. So once you start looking at it in that perspective, and it's not just about, I'm only going to help people that are my skin color, we're all from the same background, the same community, and that community will not survive without everyone within it. So you got to be for everyone in that community because that is who you are. That's what made you. So once you start having that sense of unity, it makes things a lot easier to just deal with different people, even if they don't have your same exact cultural background, because it really doesn't matter.
I think for when you boil down to it, granted, you can't escape color, you can't escape race. So I try not to. And diversity, I try to celebrate it. And once you showcase the fact that, hey, I'm of this race, or you like Carlos was mentioning about just that empathy and seeing like-mindedness. I think you can find a commonality, especially as it relates to business, and more specifically small business. There's a lot of commonality there of folks that they have whether it's a passion for something. And I know we used to talk about, hey, it doesn't matter what color you are as long as your money's green. I mean that that can is the greatest equalizer. And I think that by celebrating our diverse cultures, especially down here in South Florida, the races and things like that, it is an opportunity to, to start that conversation with that. Let's just say I'm gonna have a Haitian background. With that Haitian business owner to say, hey, let's take Haitian food, for example. Haitian food is delicious. It doesn't necessarily have to just be catered toward Haitian people. If anything, the minute you start to share that food with other cultures, they realize they love it just as much. And so there is the opportunity there to showcase that. And we've seen the models, and you got to give the Asians their props. Even though they like to just do business or they like to take care of their own little cultures, but they market to everyone. And so they are in all communities. And so if you can present yourself in a way where you're showing them, hey, I can, we can open the doors for you to market to other communities, other races. I mean, who doesn't want to make more money, So I think it's easy conversation to just embrace the diversity that we all have and exploit it. And I think more so in South Florida, I mean, if we were in another place, especially with what's going on in the country, it may be difficult. But we're in a diverse community and in a place where it's celebrated. So having those conversations and celebrating the diversity that we all have, I think it's a great component to show, what opportunities are there for these business owners.
Yeah, it's definitely an advantage that we have versus maybe other communities across the nation where it might not be as diverse. So it's harder for them to really see that perspective. That's a very, very valid point.
Cassandra?
I think for me, it's just about just knowing who you're approaching, and you start off with presentation, like E just said. I'm going to say E, just like E just said, presentation is everything. If let's just say, for instance, all of us kind of done some line of work when it comes to business consulting or whatever. Our vision is we want to help. My bad. We want to help empower each other, right? And also we want to educate other people to have the same or similar mindsets like we do or whatever. And I think presentation is definitely the key. Knowing your craft, building that confidence. When people see they approach you, at the end of the day, it's like, they want you to listen to them. Listen to saying what their issues that are having. And as you listen, let them finish and then chime in based on their perspective or whatever. And then just learn about their culture, be respectful. I think a lot of times, we'll see other races and yes, like Carlos said before, they may be thinking the same thing that we are thinking or whatever. And we have to be mindful of that. But at the same time about showing respect, in terms of other people and stuff or whatever, at the end of the day, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to do business with us, but at the end of the day, it doesn't necessarily mean our community is going to do business with us. But it's about going out there, taking a chance, having that confidence, making sure a presentation, knowing that what you're doing, it sounds like you're very confident, passionate about it. And then people are going to see that it's going to resonate in terms of saying what you're communicating to them, whatever the case may be. Because if you have something of value and you believe in it, people can see it. I'm a firm believer, saying the product itself does not sell itself. You as the representative for that product or whatever the service that you offer, you're the one that pretty much, sells it. People believe in you. Once they're able to believe in you and they instill that trust, and I guess, the rest is kind of history for me, the way I see it.
Yeah. Well, just to piggyback a quick thing on that is the cultural bias is a huge thing. More so in our communities, because I mean, I know we've all have probably at one point in our time witnessed this, especially those of us that are Black. I'm sure, Carlos, it happens in the Hispanic community as well, where they would be more trusting of someone not of our color than they are of than us. And I mean, we could be telling them the same thing, and most of the time we're trying to tell them stuff that will be more beneficial to them. But because the messenger is because of the cultural biases or just the prejudices of being, taken advantage of in the past or whatever. And so they see someone Black coming in or someone Haitian, and they're like, "Oh no, I'm not doing business with you." But wait, you're Haitian too. Oh, I know, but no, I've been burned in the past. And whereas the good old nice Jewish guy coming in, smiling at them, and all of a sudden what they tell them is it's gold. And so so that's the other part of it that we have to counter, and we just kind of re-educate that, no one's going to do right by us but us. And so we need to start putting a little bit more value in that.
Absolutely, yeah. Like to piggyback on that real quick, and that's huge to be mindful of the fact that sometimes we can get offended, right? And instead of getting offended, be like, wait, let me find out what actually happened. Why are you, what is it that someone did to you, and find out, like what Cassandra said, find out. Well, and then when you dig and you realize, oh, this person's been screwed over 15 times by someone that looks just like me. Oh, okay, I understand. So, and then you know how to overcome that. You know, I think that's what's happening with a lot of business. I'm sorry, Milton.
Well, so I guess I want to kind of chime in on this a little bit more. So how were we able to kind of build that trust amongst each other? You know, at the end of the day, we're doing business with each other, you know, and we're practically just about, you know, from the same communities, you know. So how did we establish that?
This is what I was gonna talk about next. I asked you guys about next, and I call it marketing, right? So marketing is how you put yourself out there, what you show yourself to be. It's in everything we do. It's how we're presented right here. Everybody here has on a nice dressy top. Nobody knows what we have on underneath. I could have on gym shorts right now. You would have no idea. I could be some other things, and you would have no idea. The fact is how you market yourself and what people see you as, right? So a lot of people see me on as we mentioned off camera on TikTok. I'm having a good time. I'm having a blast. I'm making a fool of myself, and I'm doing things like that. But in between those videos, the videos I do not post on Facebook are videos of me describing what I do as a man in business. Those videos end up getting a lot of views because people think I'm about to do something silly. Then they hear me talking about something serious, and they sit around and, oh, wait, that's what he does. Oh, crap. Oh, let me hit him up and find out about this. Boom, client. Okay. So it's about, and it's not just clients who look like me. It's clients from all over the place because of the fact what I have done is take advantage of an algorithm that does not limit me to my family, friends, or people who look like me or my skin tone or shade or whatever. It pushes me out based upon the song that I use, based upon the captions and all of this kind of stuff. I've even taken upon the liberty of myself to doggone copyright my own hashtag. And that's I'm dead serious. And that's what I use across all social platforms because of the fact if people hit that hashtag or they look for my name on any social platform, they'll find me and they'll see anything that I'm doing, anything that I'm up to, because your marketing, your network and all of those things, yes, you have to build it, but you have to build it by how you market yourself. If you know Milt just to be serious and stoic and all the time, maybe you might not want to talk to the guy. But if you know him like, dude, I saw this dude chugging a beer, then the next minute I seen him talking business, you might want to talk to the guy. You might want to get to know, especially if when he presents himself, he's not talking like some kind of bumbling fool. He sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Then when I talk to him on a personal level, dang, I realize he really does know his stuff. So I think what hurts us the most, especially within our communities, is that we assume, right? We assume that there's some type of camaraderie. It isn't. That's where we get stumped because of the fact there's no true marketing when it comes to us. We get marketed to by larger corporations that just want our money, but we don't market to each other because we feel like, hey, we family already. It's not true. Nobody's my family unless they tell me otherwise, right? Unless you show me that you want to be family with me, we'll be family. But when I come to you, I'm coming to you unassuming that I don't know anything. I don't know who you are, what you know, what you don't know. And when I present myself to you, whether it be marketing or otherwise, I'm presenting as if I want you to get to know me, not just the business side of me, but I want you to get to know me. And then I can ask you for that fee. and then you're more willing to pay said fee because of the fact you trust me. You get a chance to see me in my everyday. You get a chance to see, and I think that's where business needs to head, where business owners like ourselves need to show ourselves outside of the suit and tie, outside of the things that just make us look presentable. Show ourselves in the real. Guys, I'm tired as heck today. I just sat down, I just talked to 5 clients. It was crazy. But hey, look, if you need me, I'm here, blah, 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 blah. And you could be sitting there in your gym shirt or show yourself at the gym. Hey guys, just want to let you guys know I really appreciate everybody who follows me, who shows me love, da, 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 da. That's what's killing us is no true marketing. All right, I'm on mute. Mike.
Wait, Mike, before you say something, right, I will say this to Milton, right? At first, all of us can attest to that. Like when you were doing your TikTok videos, we were like, where are you going with this? It was like eye-catching at first because we're not used to seeing you in that element. So you're definitely right. Like, there's definitely a lot of truth to what you were saying. But it did intrigue us to kind of see like where you were going with, because we were like, what he doing? Like, did Milton must have lost his mind or something, right? And then especially one of my favorites was like the loop video that you did.
Oh,
I was dying. Yeah, the Uncle Lou video. I was like, where is he going with this? No, but you're definitely right. Marketing, like we don't do enough marketing, and marketing is very, very essential because it can hurt or break your business. And we tend to give that to the big companies and stuff or whatever. And the package that they offer, they're really, really expensive. And then, you know, when investing into that, we're thinking like, hey, we're definitely going to get X amount of views. And it's not necessarily guaranteed when it comes to marketing and stuff like that or whatever.
Nope.
You know, so that's why you have to go ahead.
Here's the catch. So when you're marketing to clients right out here and you're trying to get business, obviously through your Facebook and Instagram points, we feel as if we've built a brand and it makes us look this way. But what we don't realize what we're doing on Facebook and Instagram is we're building ourselves up to look cool to our cousins. They know who you are already. The people who you met at a networking event, they took your card and they added you on Facebook, and they may have liked the post or two, but they're never going to see it again, maybe. And if they see it again, they may like one or two. The fact of the matter is, when you market yourself and you market yourself to people and you want to actually be a business or a brand, you have to do it, like I said before, very unassuming. You have to do it as if you're not getting business at all. That's why those larger brands are able to charge those high ticket costs, because they're marketing and they're pushing it as if they're not getting crap. They're begging you to come to them as if they're not getting somebody to pay that $20,000 or that whatever it costs. They're begging you. I mean, every time they come out with a new vehicle, they just came out with one last year. They come out with this one. This one has 3 knobs on the radio. I'm telling you, it's crazy, y'all. It's the same car, just a different knob. Apple does the same thing. Same phone. Yo, this year we added a whole nother camera. Can you believe that? Buy our phone. We just updated. We added another camera. Boom. $1,500. But they're marketing it to you like nobody's buying an iPhone. You got what I'm saying?
And then what do we say? We'd be like, especially those iPhones, we'd be like, hey.
And they said, okay, we're going to make phones and we're going to cause ourselves to battle. We're going to cause competition between us and Samsung in the marketplace, right? So people will market for us. All the while, we're going to buy our parts from Samsung. We're going to give them a little piece of the pie. Anytime somebody buys our phone, Samsung get a little piece of the pie. Anytime somebody buys a Samsung, Apple get a little piece of the pie. So if you have a company out there, let's just say I got Well-Rounded Consulting and Elize and Cassandra, you guys have your consulting firm, right? We can literally bounce clients back and forth off of each other just by making it look like, man, you know, oh, well, shoot, you know, this guy, he does this and they do this. We literally could be doing the same thing, but the earnings could be just bounced between two companies. You know, and I'm not trying to throw that in as a plug, but I'm just saying, you know, it's just...
How you build those business relationships, connections is the key.
So I'm just saying.
You know you were serious. Don't act like it. You know you were serious.
So, you know, we'll talk off camera. So anyway, so the fact is, when you market and when we're marketing, what we're not doing is marketing without the assumption that we're getting something in return. You have to market as if your life depends on it, as if you're not going to get anything out of this campaign. Because if you market it as if people are going to like it, you're going to fail. Maybe some people may like it, but if you market it as if nobody's going to like it, and you really have to make people like it, I'm telling you, either you're going to force people, not force, but either you're going to force people away from you because you're doing way too much, or you're going to create that right secret sauce where somebody's going to be like, wow, like, yo, that was dope. That was dope. Even if it's 6 seconds, even if it's 10 seconds. I'll say this one last thing and I'm done. I made a 10-second marketing video and I put it on TikTok. That video had 690,000 views, over 72,000 likes. It was 10 seconds. It had loops, people playing it back to back because it was funny. They just want to hear it again. I want to hear that again. But then when I look at my inbox, if I showed you the amount of contacts or people contacting me or people asking me, hey man, how do I get into government contracting? Hey man, how do I start up a company? Hey man, how do I do what you're doing? You see what I'm saying? And all I did was make fun of myself, showing like how I fail every day, what I do to fail in my business. And I showed them what a day of success looks like. I didn't even show them money. I just showed them, this is how I look when I fail. This is how I look when I succeed. And this is how I look if you became my client. Right? And I showed myself partying with drinks and stuff like that. And people love that. So that's all I'm gonna say. You know, what do y'all do to market and how do you market and gain people into your companies?
Mike, what you do to market?
Well, it depends on what type of industry you're in, right? For what I'm doing, I don't necessarily have to rely on clients per se. I'll have people approach me based on their perception of the type of value that I have. So I just have discussions with people, let them know what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and just certain things that might benefit them. But I'm not trying to buy them as a client because I'm not even looking for clients. If you do need help, yeah, I can consult with you on the side, and we'll talk business there. But for me, a lot of people appreciate the fact that I'm not trying to sell them anything. I'm just having conversations with them. I'll give them advice and just some tips, just from basic conversation that I'm not even charging them for. But if they see the value in just a simple conversation and advice that they got from me and they want more, then that's more of an attraction to them. It's like certain companies like Tesla. You never see a Tesla commercial, but they built that perception of value. People know that when they're buying a Tesla, they know what they're getting and there's value in it. So Tesla doesn't even have to spend money in marketing. So there's different ways to do it, and it really depends on the business that you're in and the type of sector. So I mean, for me, I just have conversations with people, let them know what I'm doing. If they're interested in it, then we can sit down and have a further conversation. That's about it.
Elize?
Carlos. Oh, Elize, then Carlos.
Um, well, I know one thing's for sure. I'm definitely gonna start following you on social media.
Send that TikTok.
It keeps you entertained.
My TikTok game up.
Okay.
But in all seriousness, I know for me, marketing, the biggest success for me is through the referrals. I think that those of us that are in sales know that no one ever likes to do the whole door-to-door or cold calling and so on and so forth. But there's something to be said when you're being recommended by such and such. That kind of just kind of breaks down the barriers, and the fact that, hey, this person that I know and trust tells me to talk to you, have a conversation with you, I'm more inclined to do that. And then from there, it's much what Mike is talking about, conversation. I'm not there trying to sell you on anything, because I think for the most of us, not that we have a bunch of money, it's just that we know what we know, and we know that, hey, we're okay. We're just trying to help you to get to the point where you need to be. And so, I mean, the knowledge I have, I would like you to subscribe to it or apply or work with me, but maybe it's not for you, and it's okay. And that would kind of leads me into something that Milton said, that I think that most of us here, as well as anybody that's a business owner, you don't need to go at it alone. And I think for too often, sometimes we all feel that, we're in competition with such and such, so we're going to just keep our secret sauce here and ride that wave, but not realizing that, hey, if I come into an agreement or come in concert with one of my competitors, or not even look at them so much as competition, but more so one of your, one of the folks that are in your arena, and you build together, or you bounce ideas off of each other, or you take a piece of each other's pie, there's more than enough for all of us to eat, and we can eat a lot more if we do it that way. And so it's just kind of getting out of that crabs in the barrel mentality that we've kind of been ingrained in our minds. Again, it's always that re-educationing, but marketing is big. Getting out of our comfort zones. I know for me personally, just that's one of the things I'm taking away here today, is to be a little bit more marketable, because I don't do enough of that. Just being just open and being more relatable goes a long way, because I know that's one of my stronger traits, is to be able to be relatable and things like that, but doing it on a grander scale where you're not out there fishing for likes or anything like that. You're just putting yourself out there, and that genuineness does resonate, and people will just come to you that way. So kudos to Milton, because I'm sure he's taught us a few things now.
Now, actually, I got a question for Milton. Since they're trying to ban TikTok, are you thinking about what platform you're going to pivot to? Are you going to check out Instagram Reels or something like that? Because I think that could be applicable.
Already on that.
Business. Already on it. See, that's a perfect example. How are you going to pivot when the hurdle comes up?
Yeah, so when I heard about the ban, of course, man, I decided, you know what I do? This is what I do, and I'll give my secret away. So I post everything pretty much that I do on TikTok on my stories, okay? because on your stories you can gauge, you can see who's watching, right? When you post it on your page, you can see you have views, but you don't know everybody who's quote unquote viewed your stuff, even if you paid for it or whatever the case may be. So I've been doing it like as a test, just to try to see who pays attention, who doesn't within my quote unquote circle. Okay. So I'm like, okay, cool. If I can average 150 views, that might mean I can start pumping it up a little bit more if I start paying for different things as far as marketing, right? That's because I could push it out to different areas. I'm very good at this target marketing thing, right? So it's just like I really make my circle very small, so it pushes my stuff out to the radius around my house. Like who is this? I've had people ask me. I had a dude once at the grocery store, like, I know your face from somewhere, I just don't know where I know it from. And I kept asking, he was like, I think I saw you on Instagram. I was like, really? He's like, what's the video? I was like, what's the video? He's like, it was just some inspirational video, something I did back in the day. But anyway, yeah, so other platforms that I could pivot to, there's many, right? But the thing is, you got to pay. You got to pay to play, just how it is. I am one also, just like Elize, referrals are huge for me. But I'm also one for partnership, to bounce people, because sometimes I do get overwhelmed. Sometimes I got 2 little kids. My son is 4 and my daughter's 1. So sometimes, the gray is not just because I'm 34. The gray is from stress, okay? The gray came from stress. And sometimes I do get overwhelmed. And sometimes I need to take somebody, a whole person, and say, hey, look, I need you to go talk to Cassandra. Call her, call Elize, because I can't, not right now. Or I need you to talk to Carlos. I need you to, I trust them, so please go do that. And for me, with the band, I know what it is. And I've already gone on TikTok to educate. I use that as an opportunity to educate others. First, I made a funny one, basically saying I would beat Trump up. But then I made another one, and I said that I just let him know in business what that means is that he's posturing and basically making it where America gains that interest, and basically where we make the money off of that data. Simple and plain. We want to be, they want Facebook, we want it all. But I also let people know that they need to fight to keep something like this, because there's been businesses that's come on that app and really weren't doing well. And then they came on that app and really exploded because the app is not prejudiced to where they push you. It's free game. And then advertisers are coming to you. You got what I'm saying? Like on there, I'm almost to 10K followers, which is, you know what I'm saying? On Instagram, you got to bust your butt to get to that.
Yeah.
Or you got to be a celebrity or be naked or something. I don't know. But you have to do crazy stuff. Seriously. But the fact is, what puts you out there as a business, and you said it, Mike, you said you have conversations, but even just putting yourself out there to have that conversation, there's some people in your line of work that won't do that. They kind of want the referrals and they won't necessarily talk to people. It takes a special breed of person to look at a stranger in the eye and realize that's just another human being that you just got to talk to them about what you do. And if they have any common sense based upon what they're hearing, they'll say, okay, man, he seems like a good guy. He's cool. Let's talk. You see what I'm saying? So it may not be excited marketing like mine, I'm all in your face and jumping around, but it is something that it speaks to something, right? Carlos, on one end, you talked about the cold calling. Carlos, I know you initially had to cold call before you built a book of business. I know for sure. Now that book of business is basically paying them back. Elize, same thing. You have to build it. So, and Cassandra, same thing. You have to build your book of business. And in order to build a book of business, you have to market. But every time, even having, and that's a whole nother conversation. When you build that book of business, how do you market to your book of business? Now you got them, quote unquote, but there's still other sharks, and they still trying to eat your meal. So now what do you do? Anyway, I digress. I could go on and on. But Cassandra, please tell us, how do you market? How do you?
For me, marketing, I don't even know. Like, honestly, I'll be honest. I kind of suck at marketing. I think what has really, helped me has been, I know a lot of people. So I've gotten a lot of my referrals from friends of friends, friends of, family, things like that, so to speak. It's always been like word of mouth for me. And that's how I've been successful in my venture. Do I want to get better at marketing? Of course. But as far as for me to do it per se, like, I know that's not happening. I've tried to dibble and dabble, into it. And it's a lot of work. I will say this, marketing it's a lot of work. It has to be done a certain way, just to, get people's attention. And, for me, I know what my area of expertise is. Like, when it comes to all of my business ventures, I'm a builder. I'm great when it comes to communication, building structure, a foundation, whatever you want to call it. Like in all of my businesses, I'm great at building, and pretty much great at connecting people. Marketing, that is not for me. So this was kind of goes with what we mentioned earlier about investing and having people that are well experienced in their field to do things that you're not so great at, whatever. Like I did have that same mindset where I was like, you know what? This is not so hard. I can do it myself. But, as of right now, I am looking into avenues to hire someone to do my marketing because it is a lot of work. It's time consuming in terms of like, when is the right time to post? What should you post? The content that you're posting and stuff. Is it, are people going to be engaged? How do you get people to be engaged? So there's a certain level of consistency that has to be orchestrated when marketing and stuff or whatever. And, sad to say, I'm not savvy, and that is just not my area of expertise. So,
Carlos.
What's up, guys? So basically now, now it's a combination, like you said. Before, when back 5-6 years ago, I used to cold call. I've done it all. I've done not door knocking. I've done everything, right? But what really works the best, in my opinion, is the referrals, right? Like, working through referrals, because you're getting, like, for example, Elize says, hey, brother, I have somebody. I call them. That's already a warm introduction, right? Now, with the social media, within the last year and a half, 2 years, I've really gone into, Facebook. I kind of strayed away from Facebook. I was never big on posting myself. And I think what's really worked, where I'm like once a week, I'm getting someone just from social media. It's being myself and just being authentic. Like kind of like I'm not gonna dance because that's just not my thing, right? But so like TikTok, like I went in a couple times. I'm like, okay, it's just gonna come off goofy. It's gonna, for me, like in my personality, they're just gonna look at it like this ain't him. So I'm just like, I just gotta be myself. I curse a lot, so I'm cursing all over my stories. I'm saying whatever the fuck I want. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so like,
And there
it's kind of like what you're saying, the same thing. And like, because of the nature of our business, right? When you deal in finances, you want to portray like some eloquence, right? And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Because when I'm meeting with a client and I get to know them, I talk to them how I talk to them, So when I started doing that and being authentic, and then, posting different things on, social issues, stuff like that, people started relating a little differently, where before when you're posting about financial stuff, they're like, okay, whatever, right? But then you post something about what's actually happening in the world, then, you create that interest, and now you can start a conversation. And I've always been very good at connecting people. So like, for example, I'll give you a couple examples. I had a guy, basically, I'm not probably even gonna have him as a client, but I connected him with someone else where now that's a referral that I just gave him, and now, I just helped him. So in the future, kind of like that's somebody I just planted a seed with, so I'm always about how can I help Milton connect with Cassandra and see how that can work out, because I know it might not come back from Cassandra or Milton. It's going to come back for someone down the line, who knows?
Let me key in on that in terms of referral rates, because the other day I had a conversation with an individual, and referrals, like, I think referrals are definitely important. For me, like, most of the referrals that I've done, I've still received some sort of compensation for it. And the argument was, based on the conversation I was having with this individual, oh, you shouldn't expect anything. I'm like, it's not expecting. It's still an avenue when it comes to business. Like, what do you guys think about that? Like, saying, like, if you're referring something, should you expect compensation? Because it's still business. You're conducting business. Like, if there's an opportunity to gain, some sort of compensation, are you going to, capitalize and be like, okay, yeah, I want to take this initiative, or you're just going to be like, no, thank you?
if there is any compensation that's going to come my way, write it down. Let me sign for it, please. Because if it's just by just talking, I don't trust it.
Yeah.
I have to write it down. Yeah, we're gonna write it down. I want to sign it. I want to see. I want to make sure that it's legit. Now, if it's just me giving something to my homeboy, man, hook me up later with something else. I don't know. It don't matter. But if it's business to business, I want it written down for sure.
Right.
Yeah. So if it's business to business, I want it written down. Simple and plain.
I agree. I'd say if it's not already, prearranged and in writing, you probably shouldn't expect it. But if it does happen where you send them a referral, then that's a conversation that can be had to say, hey, if I find somebody else, what can we work out? And then that's
So
how
do you, sorry, Mike, sorry to cut you out. Do you think so? Do you think that the conversation should be initiated from the beginning, or it should not be initiated? Is it one of those things, if they throw it out there, then you kind of like chime in from there? Or, if you're doing business, because I feel like, okay, if you're giving this person business, like for me, yeah, I totally agree with having it written down and stuff, but I feel like, definitely should be a conversation that should be had.
So your question is who should initiate that?
No, like, should you initiate that? Saying, oh, yeah, like, I guess, yeah, who should initiate
you
that?
being the person referring the business?
Yeah.
I wouldn't initiate that if they
okay.
don't. That's just me.
Because if you find somebody, I'm assuming the situation was you found somebody and you were able to refer them to this person, and you're saying, yo, this person should give you some sort of referral fee.
Well, I shouldn't say should, but like, does it hurt to ask? That's what I'm saying.
Well, you got to understand that every business is different. So like maybe they don't have it in their means off the product to compensate.
Right.
So that's like that I would let them say that. I wouldn't. That's a slippery slope, because they could probably be like, you know what, don't refer nobody to me.
Right, because I think the original wording was like, should it be expected to have conversation for a referral? My answer to that would be no, if it wasn't, previously agreed upon. And I mean, if you find somebody and you send, a referral to a company, consider it a good deed at first. And if you find a couple more, then you can say, hey, I fed you a couple clients. Can we work out an arrangement if you want to introduce it that way? But I wouldn't look at it as something that you should expect or that they should just automatically do, per se. Like Carlos mentioned, it might not be in their budget. They might be on hard times and you don't know, and they may not be able to afford it. So should you hold out on referrals if you know you have clients or people that you can refer to them because they're not willing to compensate you? It's like a catch-22 type thing.
Yeah, because it may be looked at in that they're like, oh, this person's just trying to get, you never want people to feel like, hey, they're just trying to get something out of it.
Yeah.
That's literally why they're referring someone. And people are, even though you technically, I mean, you could ask them because you're referring them to business. People have egos, and that could just, create a little.
Well, see, my thing is, I've always done it like this. If I'm going to refer business, I don't expect anything. I don't come to them and say anything. If I expect something, I approach it in this manner. Hey, look, before I give you this referral I have for you, I want to know if there's any type of a written agreement or referral agreement that you have with your company already. If they say yes, I'll be like, great, what is it? I would like to know, that way I can give you the business. Because, I mean, hey, I got the card. It's in my pocket. Do you want the business or not? You let me know. Yeah, I want the business. All right, great. So what's the referral agreement? All right, here it is. Cool. Let me look at it. I don't know, man. Or, okay, cool. I like that. And we go from there. Because
so you kind of asked indirectly.
No, that's direct as it's going to get right there.
Yeah, but the way you phrased it, though, is just kind of like, it was kind of like sort of indirectly, like, asking for a referral.
It's just the way that you come in. It's just like anything else.
So you're saying it's all about the approach.
Oh, for sure. Because even in government contracting, right? You can win a contract by the way you position it to the United States government. The United States government spends about $22 billion a year on contracts alone, just doing stuff. I mean, they fixing the second floor of a building in Miami, and it's like $39 million job. It's just the second floor. So you say your eyes got big. So if it's all in the way that you come at the company you're trying to do business with. If you come to that company, you tell them, hey, look, I have a contract here for $39.5 million. You're not going to tell that company that. You're going to tell that company, I have a contract here that's worth $36 million. Because you want to keep what? $3 million. You want to find out if they can do the work for that money. Just the same as the quote unquote referral. Yeah. Just the same as that referral. Right? That referral, if you say, okay, if you're going to give me $1,000 for this referral, I would like to know exactly what you're charging to my referral so I can make sure I'm actually getting a fair deal. Just being honest, because if you're gonna tell me you're gonna charge them $5,000, you're gonna give me $1,000, and I actually brought you the business, Come on, man. Like, what we doing here? Like, come on. Like, that's like a slap in the face. Now, if
Right.
you want to do a 50-50 or a 60-40 and I take 40, I'm good with that. But if you want to slap me in the face with 10%, this ain't church. Okay, we ain't paying tithes. I love the Lord, but right now I'm not him. I need my
But
money.
even in church, they pass that offering a second time around, so it's more than 10%.
Yeah. I need my extra offering, player. We got communion crackers and everything to buy around here, man. What you think this is? We got lights to keep on. But no, seriously, it's just that. In order to posture, that word posture is big for me right now. But in order to put yourself in a good position as a business owner, you have to not be afraid to come to somebody and let them know what your expectations are. There is no fear in business. There's only risk. You either risking something or you ain't doing nothing. And that's just simple. If you're afraid to do business, you need to get out the way and let the big dogs come in and eat. Because I'm not afraid. Okay, fine. I put myself on a limb. That's fine. I'll be out here by myself. I could care less. Hey, if I bring you guys a client, hey, Eliza and Cassandra, man, I have somebody for you. Before I bring them now, I want to know what are you guys charging to this client for this amount of work, and I want to know what you're going to give me out of the deal. Okay, yeah. Can we put that in writing?
Great. What we gonna give Milton?
I'm just saying, have it. I don't care what y'all talk about, but have it to me in my email. I'll read it over, and if I sign it, then you guys have the client. Congratulations. I just gave you business. Now, I would like the same thing in return, if you don't mind.
But there it is.
Good on that? All right. That's business. That's just business. If you look at it and if you take it personal, you won't do well in this thing. But if you come in this thing and you're just saying, I'm just trying to handle this, because all you're honestly trying to do is get this person out of your pocket, put them in the right hand so you can move on and do what you got to do. But if the other business playing games, you're like, let me go over and talk to somebody else. So referrals is easy. If it's between business and business, you keep it straight with each other. There's this thing between human beings. I don't understand what we do. We make up all these little rules with communication instead of just keeping it straightforward.
Yeah.
Keep it real. Just keep it straight. Money is money. You got me? You see what I'm saying? So money is money. If you ain't making no money, if I come to your business and you ain't making a lot of money, just tell me that. Don't play. Just tell me I'm broke. Okay, great. Now we can work with something. You broke. Got you. You know what I mean? Or if you're making a lot of, tell the truth. Don't play me. Don't sway me. Just tell me how it is. That way, we can operate in a way that not only builds a great business relationship, but a personal relationship as well. Because I can work with you, but really, really dislike you. And that may not do well with me and you, because I'm going to close this deal with you, but you're going to be able to tell this dude really don't like me at all. Like, not even a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So in order for us to have a good business relationship, you have to be honest with the other person. Does that answer?
Sounds to me like we got the next topic for the next discussion.
Yeah, there you go. So, look, man, got to wrap it up. Look, much appreciated to everybody who even took time out of y'all's day. It's Saturday. I know we chilling. I know, you know what? I wish we could have been at the beach, but the wind and all of that stuff. I just love going out to the beach and doing podcasts. It's a beautiful thing. You get to sit out and have your little drink or whatever, and you just talk and chill. But once again, Cassandra, thank you so much for putting this together with all of us, putting us in one conversation, all of our minds in one place. I mean, it sounds like a powerhouse to me. I don't know about you guys and lady, but it sounds like a powerhouse to me, something that I believe that could not only bring benefits to other people who are listening, those who have stayed this entire time, thank you so much. But those who obviously going to need this type of guidance when the time comes for the quote unquote pandemic to end, because I don't think it's going to end. I just think this is our new normal, guys. I think this is how we're going to live from now on, and we might as well get used to it and go ahead and start developing new strategies, because just to be totally honest, as we're on this conversation right now, there's businesses already ahead of the curve right now. And those businesses that are ahead of the curve, we need to be looking at them and seeing exactly what they're doing, because they're ready for the new normal. And if we're not helping people get caught up to speed, man, we failed. It's good to be celebrated while you're at the top, but it's even better to pull people along with you, right?
Of
Absolutely.
course.
Do we have any
Absolutely.
closing words? Any, all hearts and minds clear? We got, we want to pass around the offering plate? I'll just play. So, what? No,
I think you
seriously.
just about summed it all. Like, I definitely think this is going to be a powerhouse. I definitely think, everyone has something very essential, beneficial to bring to our audience base. I'm just excited, just to see what our next, Zoom is going to be and, the topic.
Beautiful.
I definitely think that, everyone has a different perspective based on their experiences. And I'm just really, really excited to get to share our viewpoints with other people, based on actual real experiences. So we're not talking as if like we haven't lived or breathed this. We're also going to be talking about, our failures as well too. And then how did we overcome those failures and stuff, or whatever the case may be. And also inviting other individuals that pretty much that are like-minded or like to be like-minded like ourselves and stuff into this conversation as well too. So other people can get different perspective from other people as well too. So it's about like, elevating one another, empowering one another. I know I like to say this, making money. And, that's just pretty much, what I'm in favor of. And I thank you guys again for being a part of this. Selection was very, very difficult, but at the same time, I definitely think that I chose the right people to, kind of like, advocate, because again, we live and breathe when it comes to entrepreneurship, professionalism and all those things, all those components that are tied to it when it comes to making your business ventures very, very successful.
Yes. Yes. Anybody else?
Those that struggle the
Mike,
most to the best.
Say it one more time,
Well, no,
Carlos.
I think that's something on the next topic is talking about those struggles, because a lot of times people think they don't realize that in order to be able to teach something, you have to have gone through something. So there's a saying I like to say: those who struggle the most teach you the best.
Amen. 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 Well, look.
Mike.
Yeah, Mike, anything?
I would say, we talked a lot about businesses and experience and knowledge, and wisdom is just the application of your experience and the knowledge. And if you have one without the other, then you can network with somebody that has the other part, and together you guys can start to develop wisdom because you're now sharing with each other. And I think that's what we're doing here. We all have different experiences, we all have different backgrounds, and this collective and sharing our knowledge is what develops wisdom between us and for the communities that we're in.
Beautiful.
So this is great.
I think you guys have summed it all up. So I'm just excited, looking forward to the next time we all get together. And I think that we are providing a lot of value to the community by doing this. But also we are helping one another and growing in our own professions and learning from each other. And I definitely got a lot out of today's session, and looking forward to the next one.
Beautiful. Well, like I said, guys, I keep saying guys, ma'am and fellas, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. And Money Masters, scene 1, take 1, season 1, episode 1, all of that over and out.